few people that got together and said there's a need. Because our problems aren't all addressed where we're at, which was in May. So it would eventually happen.
I was just shocked, you know, because, you know, I never got involved much like Bob did with the organization of politics and the boards and stuff like that. It wasn't my thing, you know.
Do a cup of tea.
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, but when I see things changing at that kind of a magnitude, really bothered me, you know. And then I hear some guys were gonna go out and do something about literature, and there was a lot of money involved, the money disappeared, and I thought, man, let's get back to NA, you know, the way it was.
The life I got today is, you know, I got a great wife, kids. You know, I would never have it if it wasn't for Narcotics Anonymous and the people that came before me, the Jimmy Kennons and the Jack Whaleys, you know, and the people who started Narcotics Anonymous weren't professionals. They were just addicts. Addicts that had a dream, addicts that wanted to stay clean, addicts that wanted to carry the message to other people.
The member, me, I'm responsible for my own recovery, and I'm responsible to do the best I can not to maintain a positive attitude and I'm searching for a word, I don't know, and the ability to accept what's given to me. And when I say that, it's not given to me, but what, you know, I had polio when I was a kid, and they thought I got out of it unscathed, but, you know, when I started in my 50s, I think a rebound happened, and then I had smoked, and I haven't smoked for 30 years, but still, you know, between those two combinations, I've got some problems. But it's up to me to maintain a positive attitude and not get into self-pity and not to depend on a higher power and not other people, but yet be open to other people. It's up to me to not whine and snivel, because I don't want to be somebody who you ask me, how are you doing, Sally? Well, I'm not breathing very well. You know, I just don't want to be that kind of person. That's not what Narcotics Anonymous has given me. And I wanted to use that gift to the best of my ability. Now I may end up whining and sniveling, I don't know, but I'm not doing it at this point. And I'm not willing to do that at this point. Then I think the more open you are, the more open people are to being there for you.
Can you see the value in a project like this?
Oh, yes. Yeah. See, this is something that there's a lot of meetings and a lot of places and a lot of addicts that don't get to information days and dinosaur days and conventions and all. They don't get to none of that.
Yeah.
Okay? And to be able to have something and say, this was what started it. This is your heritage. You understand? Your heritage is important.
I've made friends that are lasting friends, not just these fly-by-night, but lasting friends. They're like brothers and sisters and that sort of thing. And you never find that sort of thing except in our programs. You know, we find something here that is different, and I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. You know? And I believe in both programs. I sincerely believe in them. I believe that if you stick with them, if you go to the meetings and you stick with these programs and try to do the best you possibly can on the steps and so, your life has got to, just has to be better. And I can't think of any way I can improve my life. I think I've reached nirvana.
Sweet.
I just like to, maybe 20, 30 years from now, some newcomers could look at these videos and, you know, get kind of a sense of what the fellowship was like and the spirit of Narcotics Anonymous and the energy we had and the way we helped each other and the way we went about it and the way we didn't kiss newcomers' asses, you know. Told them, you know, sit down, shut the fuck up and listen. But not all of them, but certain people, you know. I would just like to see them get a sense of our history.
What I'd like to say to the newcomer, this program worked from the beginning and it'll work today and it'll work in the future. There's basic things, and forget about service structures, politics, or anything else. If you come in here, you live the steps to the best of your ability, you talk about what's going on and go to the meetings, it's gonna work for you too. There's no real secret to this thing except keep coming back and do what you're told to do, you know, by people that are healthy. I mean, imitate, and I don't like to use words winners and losers because that denotes a little negativity, but the people who are doing it and living steps in their life and seem to have healthy things, follow their suggestions and their advice. Don't follow the suggestion of somebody with 15, 10, 20 years clean, waiting outside a detox store to pick on the girl before she gets too smart to know what's going on. Stick with the people who are working this program, not only by their mouth what they share at meetings, what they're doing in their lives. It's not about coming here and making $1 million and becoming an actor. It's about coming here and staying clean, and then if you have aspirations and goals, you will attain them because you have the ability. You may not attain them, but you have the ability to do it, and you're not going to go out and get shit-faced again. It's just not going to happen if you follow the program. The program, the only thing I say is nothing's going to change. 100 years from now, drugs may change, and they've changed in my life. Today we have designer drugs. We have drugs that I have no concept of what they are, but I know what they do. They do the same thing that the drugs that I used do. It affects my feelings. Those things will never change. The chemicals will change. I mean, when I was a young kid, we're all going to school and sniffing on Cabana all day long, it did the same thing to me as any other drug that they're going to invent and done. It's just a different delivery system. The steps work, the program works, meetings work. Follow the people that are doing it and living it in their life.
The struggle, it was a struggle the first year, really a struggle. I mean, just a struggle. Sometimes it was like touching water. Those were the times, you know, when I said, if I feel this bad tomorrow, I'm going to use. And then somehow the next day would be okay, and then I'd do it again and again. And I just went back and forth like that. I was driving home from my job, and by the time I had a year, I had it fairly, I mean, I was making reasonable money. I wasn't on the low end of minimum wage now. And I was making fairly decent money. I was waiting tables in a Denny's, but I was making enough money, you know. And it was okay, it felt good. And I was driving home from work, and all of a sudden the voices stopped. Something happened. They had been less and less and less, and something happened. And I said, okay, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah.
You know, because then I are.
Your
And
friends.
it's quiet. And I pulled over to the side of the road and I cried. And, you know, I think that's when the miracle of the program really happened for me.
You should have met me.
I'll attest to that.
You should have met me, motherfucker. You'd be a lot happier. But you could say to yourself, maybe I'll never be that sick. No. I would say to that person to embrace this program with everything you've got. Don't take anything for granted. Don't take anybody in your life for granted. Don't take your loved ones for granted. And most of all, do not take this program for granted. The concepts of these steps haven't changed since 1953. And hopefully nobody will ever change them. And the only other thing I'd wish to say to that newcomer when I'm not here is that I wish I could be here. I really wish I could be here to give you a hug. And let you know the war's over and welcome home.
Once you get here, stay here. The only actual requirement is you stay clean and sober. You don't use and you don't drink ever again, no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens to you. You know, my daughter died at age 44. My mother died at age 100, and my wife died at 72. She had Alzheimer's for 12 years. If I had been clean and sober, I wouldn't have been able to take care of her. You know, I would have lost my license to practice. I would have probably, you know, been in prison. I was arrested 20 times when I was drinking and using. You know, I fought all my cases and won them all. It's surprising. Surprising. Nowadays it wouldn't be that way. These prosecutors are professionals, you know. You can't do what you used to do.
Right.
You know, but it's been a really, really good life for me. I've really enjoyed being clean and sober, and I think being real active in the program, you know, like 10 meetings a week for the first 5 years. And I was secretary of 5 meetings a week for probably the 5 years or more. And I've stayed active, stayed involved. I've stayed involved in the 502 Club and the 202 Club. I've been a member of both of those the entire time. I pay my dues by the year.
You know, we are all faced with our mortality. And,
No kidding.
you know, 50 years down the road, some newcomers watching this video, what would you most like to say to that person?
It's okay. It's gonna be okay. When I don't remember how long I had, but I was coming back from Los Angeles and I was crying about something. I mean, I was just really sobbing. And I don't even remember now what it was. Something, you know, it was maybe a little, I don't know what it was. But there was a voice, that recovery voice inside said, it's okay. No matter what, it's okay. And somewhere along the line, we all reached that point, I believe, where we know that no matter how bad it is, no matter whether it's the death of a loved one, no matter whether it's really bad health problems, no matter whether it's financial devastation, no matter what, it's going to be okay. And that's kind of the piece that the program and working a program brings you. And I really, honest to God, believe that with all my heart. I've seen that over and over again, and it's okay. It's really okay.
Oh, your heart opens up to Narcotics Anonymous as mine did, as I believe the gentleman in this room did, and has, and I hope you're willing to be of service, whatever that will consist of and need to be 50 years from now, because I can't even begin to imagine what the world will be like 50 years from now. But the disease will be the same. The disease will be the same, and I believe this process will work just as effectively in 50 years as it does and has for the last 60 or so years. I hope I hope you're in the process of making an update on this video in 50 years.
They're a legacy. All I am to the newcomer is their predecessor. That's it, up now. And what they are to me, they're our legacy. So we need to be responsible for what we pass on to that newcomer. You know, because what's passed on that newcomer is what that newcomer is going to pass on to the person that comes in one day after them. And so the newcomer is the one that's gonna create our legacy, wherever this fellowship goes when I'm gone in a higher place. You know? So that's how I treat that. Be careful with the newcomer.
You know, it's pretty simple. If a knucklehead like me could make it, anybody could do it. Even you.
It works. It really, really works. You know, this thing really works. They told me, you know, give it a try. If it doesn't work, we'll gladly refund your misery. You know, and it works. And there's so many of us here now that are examples of that. Whole new way of life.
You're in for the greatest experience of your life if you just, it's been quite a party. You know, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm not like anybody special. So if you hang in there and get involved, this can be the best thing that ever happened. You can, you know, there isn't anything you can't do if you're clean.
Enjoy the fellowship. You know, it's all about love, but I don't want to hear all that crap. You know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and it's how we walk. You know, it's how we talk. You're going to talk it, then you need to walk it. And the walk is what's going to be the demonstration.
I hope my grandkids never need this program. And their kids don't need this program. And if they do, I hope that it's here. That the enthusiasm for Narcotics Anonymous doesn't die off. The passion that so many of us have had for it, you know.
I would like to have my great-great-great-grandchild, if they had a problem, be able to go to the same Narcotics Anonymous I was introduced to, you know. We don't do 12-step work anymore. We don't go pick up addicts and take them to meetings. We used to have people kick on our couches, you know. It doesn't happen anymore. It's just like the spirit of Narcotics Anonymous is being diluted.
I would like to see it change. I'd like to see it really follow the principles that it pontificates.
Right.
I think the service structure needs to get more recovery instead of service.
Right.
That ain't gonna happen. You got a machine that's set up and it's gonna run. It's like a robot.
You know, anytime an organization gets large, there's always abuse. And it's good in the humble beginnings, people are pretty honest, you know, and they're dedicated to each other, they support and help each other. But as things get big, they sort of lose those roots to the foundation that builds strength and integrity. So what are your hopes for things changing in the future and bringing NA back to what it's supposed to be?
You want to know the big one?
Yeah.
Someday that NA and AA don't disagree with each other and we're one fellowship.
That's a good point.
We'd
Very
rule
good
the
point.
fucking world, man.
Okay.
We would have we'd have a spiritual entity in every political body worldwide. I believe that. See, you believe that God sent His Son down. I believe that God sent the program here, the 12 steps, to light up the world.
That's right.
And I think we fucked it up.
Yeah.
I think it got dishonest. I think it got
we might have
selfish.
messed it up, but we haven't destroyed it. Yet.
Come real close.
Yeah.
We sure mangled the message.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference. a lot of difference, a lot more respect, a lot more people, a lot more energy, ideas. People are as willing to accept something being gospel like they were before. Before there's a few old timers, if they said it was, it was. You know, whether it was or not. You know, they believed that they were like the grand poobahs of Narcotics Anonymous, and there isn't any, of course. So now, you know, more structured. The structure allows us the ability to live and learn and grow like it never has before.
I just hope that, again, the hopes are just that this thing continues. No matter what, just continues. I want to see 100,000 people at a convention, not 25,000 people. I want to see it from all countries, not just, you know, even the poorest of the poor country can make it to a Narcotics Anonymous convention. 50 years from now, 100 years from now, when somebody catches this tape, you're going to just say, well, if I was as old as them, I'd quit using too. But
We weren't always this
Well,
old.
yeah, let's last 40 years.
yeah, but all in all, it's, you know, life is good no matter how you look at it. Life is good. It's only as good as you want it to be. If you don't want it to be good, it's not going to be good. Simple as that.
How old are you now, Mel?
I just turned 65 the 3rd of October, and I was born in 1943. When I got this program, I had dark brown hair and all my own teeth,
Wow.
and I was about 100 pounds lighter, maybe 80 pounds lighter. But I'm moving along. You know, God's going to give me another day. I'm just positive of that. I'll breathe another few days, and I hope to breathe long enough to just be a part of more people's lives.
People come into Narcotics Anonymous, they think, oh, here it is. It's always been here, it'll always be here. Nobody really did anything, they just showed up for a meeting and there it was. And I think it's really valuable that people know that, you know what, there's a lot of people that went through a lot of hell for people to have the opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of people who went through much more hell than me, like Jimmy, and people involved in our, you know, even the people in our World Service Office that have served for years that have been ridiculed for what they've done, and they stole the fellowship, you know, all the garbage you hear, but look at the work that they've done, you know? And I know in their heart they have the same passion that I have. And I called one of those people years ago and made amends to them for ridiculing them, putting them down, talking about them, saying they were screwed up, they were doing everything wrong, the fellowship needs to take over this thing. You know what it is? We're all jealous motherfuckers. We all want to be at the top, but we don't know the top's walking through that fucking door. That's where the top really is. And we all want to stand for something, you know, greater than what we are. Because we all want to be something more than what we are. And we want to mean something more than what we feel we mean to ourselves. And then when we even get it, we don't feel we deserve it. So what the fuck is the problem? So, yeah, I think I don't think it, I know that it's really valuable. And even if one addict sees this and appreciates the passion, maybe they can identify with that same passion. And 50 years, 100 years from now, this earth is still here, 200 years from now, an addict will know where he can go, where somebody will give a fuck. No matter where they came from, what they've done, somebody will open their arms and give them a hug and tell them welcome. And I think it's really, be nice if you could interview everybody who walked through the doors, you know? And it's sad that this wasn't done way before so many of us who have laid groundwork have already died. And we didn't get to hear their love. and what they went through to be a part of this thing. So yeah,